You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 20th, 2022 meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Zoning Appeals. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order the December 20th meeting of LaPorte County Board of Zoning Appeals. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dwayne, would you lead us?
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mullins-Mischke.
Here.
Dwayne Hogan.
Here.
Glenn Minnick.
Here.
April Daly.
Here.
Adam Karanka.
Present.
All right, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes from November 15th.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Petition number 1 this evening is a petition for variance of use for James Henson to operate a metal fabrication shop out of his garage. The property is located at 1402 South State Road 39, LaPorte, Scipio Township, zoned R1B. Are you here tonight? Petition number 1. So this petition has been postponed several times. I will entertain a motion to dismiss this one.
I'll make the motion to have petition number 1 for James Hanson be withdrawn altogether.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, number 1. Moving on to number 2. Petition for variance of use for Masimoto Properties, LLC, seller and Dan Klister, buyer, for operation of a unique rental retreat with 7 cabins. The property is located west of 3985 East, 1000 North, LaPorte, Galena Township, zoned ag on 20 acres. Petition number 2, are you here this evening? If you would, please present your legal work to our attorney.
Notice is sufficient on this one.
If you want to come up to the podium, please,
Lots of photos on this one. Okay.
No, thank you.
and state your name and address for the record, please.
Dan Klister, address is 106 North Aberdeen Street, Chicago, Illinois 60607.
Dan, let's talk about the 7 cabins and your unique rental retreat. What's the plan?
The plan, I guess in broad terms, as you stated, is 7 unique cabins kind of spread out across a 20-acre property. They'll be offered as technically short-term rentals, 2-night minimum stay up to, I guess the length is still TBD. It'll offer a variety of unique features to the cabins themselves and then on the property, as well as taking advantage of a lot of the area attractions and other unique experiences that Northern Indiana and Southern Michigan have to offer.
So with respect to the site itself, will there be attractions on the site where the cabins are located, or is everything being off-site?
Majority of the attractions or amenities will be within the cabins on site. There may be, I guess, subtle attractions or amenities for guests to share, as in a sauna or cold plunge pool, but nothing, I guess, out of the ordinary that I would include on the plan for this meeting.
Could you be more specific on what those activities might entail?
Walking, hiking,
Trails?
potentially. There's some space for it, but I would just envision guests more or less enjoying the escape and the quiet of being in the woods.
So we're not looking at loud music,
There won't be any
evening entertainment.
outdoor activities, if you will, that, again, would cause.
You guys have questions?
I think in the packet you led to believe that there were going to be like quiet times or set hours where, there's not supposed to be any disturbance going on.
Yeah, I believe I stated 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I guess I could have started with the property itself will be under 24/7 security. There'll be an entry gate, individually locked cabins. There'll be a bigger security system, lights, cameras, etc. And as for the operation of the property, yes, there'll also be a 24/7 manager. There'll be a list of, I guess, site rules and regulations that would comply with not just the county's given rules or regulations, but ones that we would put in place as well, that I would assume are much more strict.
I guess that sounds good, but it's kind of vague, not knowing what they are whatsoever. The other question I had was, do you plan on fencing the property? Because you're going to have so many people that'll be out walking around, and I mean, there's a lot of private property in the area, and they need to know their borders, their limits.
Everything will be clearly staked or stated. As for an actual fence, at this point I don't see, I guess, necessarily a need for one. The topography of the land wouldn't really allow for somebody to kind of wander too far off, but again, everything would be clearly marked for somebody staying on property to contain themselves at the property. And I guess to kind of expound upon the rules or regulations on site, again, I guess at a high level, we would strictly enforce quiet hours. There would be, again, a list of prohibited activities. So I guess I could start on a number of things, but there would be no fireworks, no loud music. Again, certain activities would only be permitted during certain times. As simple as maybe during daylight, if that would kind of make more sense.
Hunting or
but
fishing or anything?
no hunting, fishing, no guns allowed, none of,
Any designated wetlands?
there are not, no.
What about utilities to the individual cabins?
We plan to run electric. The septic is still kind of in the works. We're figuring out, I guess, what would be most efficient and or is permitted.
So we're talking running water, electric, and potentially septic to each of the cabins.
Correct.
Okay.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for this petition? So if you'll take a seat, I want everybody to listen to me. We're going to have a 3-minute time limit on remonstrators. If you have someone in your group that can speak for all of you, that would be wonderful. If not, we want to move it along. We don't want to hear the same comment over and over for your 3 minutes. Okay? So who wants to go first? Come on up and state your name and record.
My name is Stephen Landfit. I own,
Press.
I reside at 10257 North Manna Lane. I'm the property directly to the west of this proposed development. It's actually a subdivision. It's just going in under sheep's clothing, but it's hiding a wolf. First, I'm going to tell you we're going to need a property because I was emailed a plan, and there's 3 proposed cabins, of which one is 50 feet off of my property. You can look like how I look right now. If you know anything about RFD TV, I'm one of the 4 clinicians in the country that are on RFD TV and the Cowboy Channel. I make my living in the ag industry. I came out to LaPorte County to do so, and it is only going to be a matter of time before someone walks 50 feet to pet a horse, because they do it all the time. So they're going to have a fence all the way around. There's no way around it. And then I came here, as well as everybody else, and they'll have their chance to speak. This is a residential area, so farmers do not have set hours. I will be stripping pens with my tractor, which is 50 feet off of their cabin. It could be at 1 o'clock in the morning if I have to rotate. I've unloaded hay at ungodly hours and cattle. We're going to talk about flies. We're going to talk about the smell. We're going to talk about, oh my God, there's 10 hogs in a pen 50 feet off of his cabin. So the person who's going to come for 2 nights is not going to like the smell, or when I'm taking my stallion out to breed in the pen that is 50 feet from his cabin. So I do think what he's proposing is set for an area like Union Pier, just out of New Buffalo, or off of a county highway like 39 line where all the other hotels are out there. There's multiple pieces of property. We would not be here opposing if this was a single-family residence. I'm speaking on behalf as a resident. I'm also speaking on behalf as the president of the High Grove Homeowners Association. I have a letter from, Tim Callahan, who owns lots 3, 4, and 5. So I was a developer for High Grove, okay, which was 128 acres, 7 home sites, of which the only reason it's still there is because I killed myself and I never gave up. The fact that it would actually have never flown if it was just penciled out, it would have failed. Tim Callahan bought 3 of the lots. He has his house and a guest house for his children. Tim, when he moved in about a year and a half, 2 years ago, called up, introduced himself. He's out of Chicago, wonderful gentleman, respects the gentleman farm concept, an ag lifestyle, loves it. His kids come over, his grandkids, to see the newborn calves. I do not want 7 people that I don't know on Monday, who I will not know on Tuesday, who I will not know on Wednesday, coming over because they want to pet a horse, a cow, a chicken, a hog. I could go on. I think I've said my piece. Oh, my mother also owns a property directly across from my driveway. Here's a letter. Who gets these? Thank you.
Over here.
Thank you.
Opposing to the same thing.
Everybody's here.
Who's next? If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Dawn Tyler. My current address is 769 North 500 East, LaPorte, Indiana. That's my primary residence, but we own land directly adjacent to this property on 400 East. I would like to dispute some things that the gentleman from the Woodlands stated. It would be easy to put a fence up on this property, between our properties. There is no distinction. People are going to walk over a log and not realize they've left the property on this. I am deeply concerned about the noise, the privacy, as the gentleman stated. In the plans that I saw, there were fire pits, so I certainly see other activities that were not mentioned. Whether they were left out purposely, I can't say. I'm a camper. I love to camp. I love to be outside by the fire with my friends, singing, drinking, having noise, having guests. Having 7 cabins is very excessive on a 20-acre property. I believe out in this area of the country, out in this area of the county, it's a 5-acre minimum for a single residence. Otherwise, 2, thank you, 2. For a single acre, for a single family residence. I'd be interested to hear where the on-site manager is going to live. Is that in one of the cabins or is that elsewhere? I oppose this idea. I just oppose this idea. As a neighbor, we bought property out there because it's quiet, because it's nice. I like to listen to the owls. I did not buy property to live next to a campground. And I'm gravely concerned what this is going to do to the neighborhood and the safety of the people driving in and out of the property on 1000 North. People drive very, very fast on 1000 North. You come over the hill by the cemetery, I think we're going to have a lot of problems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Renee Amor and I reside at 3943 East 1000 North. We are directly to the east. I know that the notice said that it's 3985, but we're actually the home that's closest to this property. And from the plans that I had seen where a majority of the cabins are going, it is within sight of my house. Some of my concerns, again, is like the campground type of a thing, because we can always put out the rules, but not everybody's going to follow them. We have had the prior owners that were clearing. Throughout the whole summer, for the past 2 summers, it has been constant machinery, constant fires, large fires, which it's at times snowing at my house because the fires are coming over. Some of the concerns with there being so many people and being in the country is they think they can bring their dogs and leave them off leash. So they will be all over without the fencing. As stated below, it would be easy to put a fence. We have markers on our property and we have a very hard time finding where our property line is and we've lived there. I mean, I've lived there since 2006. My grandmother owned the property prior to. They state that there is going to be multiple surveillance. However, in our area, we don't have the internet. I can't get internet at my house. So I know that they were putting in some sort of, they were doing all the digging out in the counties and trying to get some different internet speeds out there, but we currently do not have any. So if you're monitoring any of that, I don't know how anybody off-site could do it. If there's going to be something on-site, which leads to another point of, is there going to be like a building where there will be people, managers, something of that nature, that would be watching it, as well as with the cameras. They would be pointed kind of at my house there. The amenities concern me, like with the fires and then the pools, also kind of, these are going to be tiny homes. So if somebody comes there and they're going to have one bed and they bring others, are they going to be allowed to bring trailers or campers? Will people be in tents, as there's only enough in this building for 1 or 2 people to be inside of it? So my concern then is the other people, is it going to be rented to one person but 10 people show up for that one cabin? And then of course you get to garbage, animals. Is somebody going to be there to make sure that it's cleaned up? Is the garbage going to be flowing our way, since we're right next door? Will there be ATVs allowed or other items where we would be having the volume again, and then people going possibly onto our property with their ATVs or something of that nature? And then also, I don't know what the financing plans or things of that nature are, but this is right next to Posey Chapel. If something, we all know people sneak up to Posey Chapel, they think it's haunted, they have all the things. Will people be, trying to get into those cabins thinking, oh, it's another part of the experience with the cemetery? If it goes under, and then we have 7 empty cabins just sitting in the woods, that also concerns me, just with the pull of Posey Chapel being right there. Thank you. Any other remonstrators? Okay.
Sounds good.
What additional questions do we have as a board? If you'd like to come back up, please.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Not really.
Do you want me to read
We are gonna-
what the project?
We are going to address
Because it makes it a little easier.
Yep.
now.
Why don't you go ahead and address some of the questions or concerns you had?
Sure, I just
Give
did
it
my
your best. We're
kind
going to
of-
ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, I did my best. So, I guess back to the initial point, what is it? So, as much as we could probably continue to disagree on it, it's not a campground. It's a unique stay, high-end, short-term rental. It'll be priced at $225 on the low end, up to $695 on the high end. So, this isn't the average kind of let's go party at a campsite. This will be targeted towards couples, small families. I think a much different crowd than one would lead to believe by just hearing campground. Fence, no problem. Again,
Yeah, I think fence is one of the things I kept hearing over and over that might make
I
more
would agree.
sense.
It doesn't help me to have people wandering around in liability beyond the property as my issue either. So I agree, especially in certain areas that would protect either neighboring properties and or specifically animals. The smell, that would be my problem. I guess I'm not opposed to looking at maybe a different location for 1 or 2 of the cabins that might seem like they are encroaching too close to a neighbor's property. I think fires were mentioned. Yes, small fire pits at each cabin. Again, this would go along with the site rules, and there would be specific times on when you are essentially allowed to have a fire, have to kind of put that out and go back indoors. I understand the human element, so we will continue to do our best to manage that.
So let's talk about the 24/7 security.
Sure.
Would they be, so address one question is, would they be living on site?
At this point, no one would live on site. I've interviewed a number of different companies. I think at this stage, we would likely hire a group out of New Buffalo, so within about 10, 15 minutes.
Someone would be there 24/7 though.
No, there would be likely somebody available. There will be somebody available 24/7 on site. Only, you know, if there was an issue, our goal. So there is internet. I believe Acme is the company out of Michigan City. Fiber is available to the property.
Well, it is, I hope everyone understands, CCTV does not require internet to record video on your property. You don't have to have the internet for that unless you want to view it remotely also.
Sure. And it won't be CCTV. I'm not trying to take video of anything that I
Right.
don't need to see. It would be strictly, again, cameras aimed at an entrance or at, you know, specific parts of the property where we do need to monitor
Right.
potential safety issues. Was there another question on management or the goal? I guess along those lines, the goal is to essentially automate as much as we can on the property. So, security, the security cameras, security lighting, or just site lighting in general, locks, even down to HVAC of the cabins, that can all be done remotely. And so, you know, we'll utilize as much of that technology as we can.
So if I were to rent a cabin for 2 nights, am I allowed to bring in a camper, a trailer, a tent, all my friends?
No, and again, I apologize to Glenn. I don't have the full list of rules and regulations, but there will be a significant, you know, this is what we see you being able to do on the property, and this is everything that we're not going to allow on the property. And again, this is aimed at most likely couples and small families that are going to show up, type in a code to get in through the automated gate to enter the property. They'll have a keypad or a wireless code on their phone to get into their cabin itself. And, you know, you might bring a bag of clothes and some food or whatever, but nothing substantial would be allowed to be brought onto the site.
What about trash removal?
Every turnover, the management company will collect trash, completely clean or turn over the cabins, similar to a hotel type environment. And so I would imagine almost every single day, if not every other day, there will be somebody there making sure the property is clean and up to, I guess, the neighborhood standard.
What other questions do you guys have that, did I hit everything from?
Pretty much all the demonstrators, yes.
Yeah.
I have one.
Sure.
Are you going to have a limit on the amount of time that you can rent each one of those cabins?
The minimum stay would be 2 nights. If somebody came to me and said, you know, we'd want to rent for a month, I think we are open to, you know, creating an environment that if somebody decides I can work remote, for example, for a month and want to spend it, you know, in the woods of northern Indiana, we could accommodate a request like that.
Okay.
I'll just add, our goal is not to ruffle feathers. We don't want to ever go into a municipality that, you know, either staff, neighbors, etc., doesn't, you know, want or welcome us. I completely get not everybody's going to be happy, and that there will be, you know, or there has been a misunderstanding potentially on certain issues revolving around the project. But our goal would, you know, now and in moving forward, be the best neighbor that we can to everybody in the area. So.
Okay. Do you have additional questions?
Well, I mean, no.
Additional questions?
Madam President, I have a question. You may have brought this up already, but will there be a written rule on how many guests are allowed per cabin?
Correct. So I guess the cabin breakdown now is there are 4, call them studio cabins, 2 1-bed cabins, and 1 2-bed cabin. The studios are a limit of just 2 people. The 1-bedroom would likely be case by case, but it would be 2 adults and up to 2 children. And then the 2-bedroom, I believe we could accommodate 6 total guests for the 1 cabin.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? So if there are no more questions.
I mean, I think in general, the project is doable with the restrictions of fencing. I like the idea of a minimum of 2 nights, maybe a maximum is a good idea, because you don't really want these to be long-term rentals as much as you want them to be. They're VRBOs is what you're talking about doing here. They're high-end VRBOs, and I mean the way that system works, it works for something like this because they're judged by the renter, and the renter's judges them, and I mean they'll fly by whether the management is good and takes care of it. I mean, someone needs to be available, certainly, like you're saying, because
I agree.
anytime you put that many in close proximity. As far as protecting the neighbors, we have codes in LaPorte County that protect farms. They can't file a nuisance lawsuit against you for your smells, for your dust, for your noise. That's just part of living in the country. So I think you'll be protected from that. So I think it's a possibility.
I think that I'd like to see, before I make a decision, I'd like to see some more details on those restrictions. And maybe potentially how you might rework the location of some of the cabins to keep from encroaching on the neighbors as well. I mean, it's zoned ag. This is an agricultural area. I think I'm with Glenn. I believe it could work.
I guess and I agree. 2 questions. One would be, does that then push this out to, I guess, what would be January's meeting? I am under contract. I don't own the property. Unfortunately, if that would be the case, I'd likely look elsewhere for a different site. If there's a way to work through it,
Well, I think that's also one of the things the neighbors and other area owners don't know exactly what those restrictions are. So it's really easy for me to say, I'm going to wander into his horse pasture, or someone could wander over here, or what are the fire pits going to look like? I think it opens it up to a lot of questions that they're still, even after you explained and asked questions, that are still kind of hanging out there because we're not really sure.
I guess concerning the neighbors specifically, again, I'm very open to fencing or creating barriers, whether it be a fence, natural barrier, more plantings, etc. I can provide a full list as to what's permitted or not permitted on the property, but I think to Glenn's point,
We should see.
what specifically on that list, what would affect, or what would you like me to highlight for the neighbors, I guess?
I think my opinion is the entire plan. I don't know if that.
Well, it is a big undertaking, and I don't see why we can't ask you to draw it up and bring it back to us next month with all the restrictions that you put in place to make all the neighbors comfortable. One other problem with the property is one of the people spoke on it. The driveway's in the wrong place. As I've been told by other neighbors that is a high speed road. People don't follow the rules, and that driveway needs to be moved. I believe it's closer to the crest of the hill so everybody can see.
See Atlanta site.
Because you got people that are going to be wandering around, looking for this driveway, and that's not a major thing, but it needs to be improved. But
I agree.
It's open transparency. It helps show everybody what you got.
The list of rules and
So there's
regulations,
no
you mean?
confusion. It's just good to see it all.
Sure. But that, again, is mandatory for potential approval, and that would push it out to middle of January.
It would.
So should we just give them something very objective of go-dos?
What do you think?
Which is the full list of rules, the full layout,
The layout of the cabins.
layout of the cabins, layout of the property.
well, they have
Layout of the fences.
They have the
I've
layout.
provided do you mean
The
the,
layout's
I mean, you're
there.
going to modify anything, get the 50 foot off of the fence line and stuff like that.
Right, those sorts of.
Those things.
We talked about maybe moving off the areas next to the neighbors' properties. You thought you could maybe move a couple around.
yeah, there might be one that's within 100 feet, I believe, but yeah, I would look at relocating.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That's all we're asking.
So a more detailed business plan specifically focused on the comments of the board that reiterated some of the concerns of the neighbors, is what they're looking for.
Well put.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. I'm sorry, sir, our remonstrator time is your time for public comment. So I think we're going to get ready. If there are no other questions, do you guys want to make a motion?
Make a motion to table for January based on the discussion regarding improved business plan and modified layout.
That was good. I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to table until January. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay. And if I could, Mike, can I ask if they want to contact your office, maybe get on an email list if he sends stuff in, make sure that they get contacted? Would that work? So for everyone in the neighborhood, if you want to get in touch with the building commissioner's office, they'll make sure you are up to date on all information that comes in before the next meeting. Okay? Wonderful. Petition number 3 this evening is a petition for variance of use for Nowak Farms, Robert Nowak, for running 3 businesses in existing building. ATF transfers only, light machining work, auditing and consulting. The property is located at 6036 North Nowak Road, LaPorte, Springfield Township, zoned R1B on 38.2 acres. Thank you. And if you want to come up, we'll give them a minute to make sure everyone trickles out. Did you give legal work to our attorney yet?
Yeah, it would. I think you're probably going to see a lot more of that. Yeah, I think.
Madam Commissioner, if I may interrupt.
Yes.
This is Attorney Andrew Volz from House and House. I have been recently retained by both Mr. Nowak and Nowak Farms. Unfortunately, I was unable to prepare for tonight's meeting, so I would move at this point that this petition be tabled until January so that I have opportunity to prepare to properly present the manner in which the petition has been prepared, number one, and then also address any other concerns that I feel that may be out there.
Do you agree with him?
Yes, I do.
Okay, very good. All right, so I need a motion and a second to table.
Motion to table to January based on the recommendations or the request of Attorney Bolts.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right, we'll see you in January.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you all. Be safe.
Thank you. Okay, petition number 4 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Corey and Blair Murrow for construction of a pool house with water. The property is located at 10704 West, 1500 South Wanata, Cass Township, zoned ag on 5.5 acres.
Notice is sufficient.
If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Corey Muro, 10704 West, 1500 South.
Do you guys already have a pool?
We do.
I thought so. And the building is just for pumps?
So
going on?
our pool is about 40 feet off of our back deck, and we'd like to add a bathroom so the kids don't have to run through the yard and in through our back door, through the kitchen, and into the guest bathroom.
Oh, dirt.
And then we'd have a small kitchenette so we can grill out, but that's pretty much it.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful home.
It is.
Thank you.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for this petition? Anybody in favor or against this petition? Any questions of the board?
No.
Melissa, I'd like to make the where are we?
4.
Motion for petition of variance of developmental standards for Corey and Blair Murrow be approved.
I'll second it.
Second it.
And the price does look perfect. I like it.
Yeah, I have a second. I'm sorry, a motion in a couple of seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Good luck.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Petition number 5 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for John K. and Christine K. Hardacker to allow future owner to build on a lot without road frontage with an access easement. The property is located behind 7274 West Bleck Road, Michigan City, Cool Spring Township, zoned R1B. on a total of 5.559 acres.
Notice is sufficient.
Good evening.
Evening.
Would you state your name and address for the record?
John Harker, 4707 West, 1300 South, Hannah, Indiana.
Here?
All right, so you own this property up in Michigan City,
Right.
and no one's sharing their pictures, just. So this is not part of that subdivision?
Well, there is technically no subdivision back there. I actually was the owner of all that property at one time. I built a house for myself and then I sold that house. So then I built another house for myself and I sold a section of property, some good friends of mine. Alan Johnston, I believe he's here tonight.
And the easement for access to this property, is it?
It was set at the time that I did the easement for all of the other houses that were back there.
And it's off of Bleck Road?
Yes.
So that portion of Bleck Road kind of snakes, curves around, that is a subdivision, am I wrong?
No, that's right.
Okay, and your easement is granted off of that subdivision?
Off of that road, yes.
Okay. You don't happen to have any of that documentation with you, do you?
For,
The easement?
no, I did not bring it.
No? Okay.
No. It's on record at the recorder's office.
Okay. Do we have any remonstrators this evening for this petition? Okay. If you'd like to have a seat. So again, I'm going to state you have 3 minutes. You're going to state your name and address, and I want to hear new information if we can do it, okay?
My name is Joe Sukrich. I live at, I moved here 2 weeks ago. I came from California.
Okay.
And I got this in the mail, and I didn't have time to research all what's happening, and I need time to.
What's your address?
I'm sorry, 4658 North, 700 West, Michigan City, Indiana.
Okay.
And I need to talk to my lawyer or my realtor about this variance, and I can get back with you guys.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Miles Wright. I live at 7274 West Bleck Road. My father is Kevin Wright. He could not make it tonight as he was out of town when the certified letter came in the mail. So he did not get it until a week later, and he is a railroad worker, and because of the holidays, he could not get off. So that being said, I would like to request to postpone this until January, as he is the primary owner of 7274 West Bleck Road, which is the residence that the easement runs right on.
Okay.
And then further, we have a lot of apprehensions about additional work and development being done, as it would cause accelerated maintenance. And the driveway that runs back off of Bleck Road is shared by 3 homeowners. And we have an agreement between the 3 homeowners to maintain that. And we all donate money to maintain that driveway.
Miles, is that a recorded agreement?
No, it is a verbal agreement.
Okay.
And it is handled by Alan Johnson. And we agree not to hunt any wildlife, and to protect the animals in the area. This having development back there would greatly affect the native species in the area, including the deer, the fauna and flora in the area. The deer, there is 37 acres of land in close proximity that is owned by Save the Dunes Conservation Fund. And because it is in such close proximity, this would disrupt the movement of wildlife from our properties into this protected wetland. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Do you have additional remonstrators?
Look at it. You look at it. I'm Alan Johnston. My home is 7272 West Black Road. I own the property that John mentioned that we purchased and built our home on. A few concerns I have. First of all, we didn't even know there was an easement going back there. We didn't hear anything about it until just 2 weeks ago. My concern, a couple concerns I have is, which has been built since then, is I put a camper cover, they call it a carport here in the county, which would be right along the side of where this easement would go. So well, definitely trees would have to be taken down to put the easement in because it's not there. When I built, there wasn't a problem with just dropping trees and clearing the land. Where that would be cut down, if the trees aren't cut and dropped properly, it could cause damage. So I wouldn't want somebody to just come in and start cutting trees, drop a tree down on my camper, and then say, well, I gotta go bankruptcy because I can't afford to fix it. And also, we do have a gentleman's agreement for taking care of the property. As far as the driveway, it's 500 plus foot of driveway. It's not a road, it's a driveway. So basically, I arrange all the gravel that's brought in. I arrange for the people to come and take care of it. This last year, I actually bought a Kubota with a box scraper and a bucket, so I could personally take care of the property. I take care of all the snow removal that's taken care of. And again, it's a gentleman's agreement. Everybody pitches in, puts money towards me taking care of it. And since I retired, that's why I went ahead and bought the equipment myself, just to maintain it. We don't have to try to find somebody in the middle of winter to clear, do that. So that was another concern I had. The other concern I have is all the homes that are out there now are higher end, $200-some thousand to $300-some thousand homes. I wouldn't want a snap together be put in there if that's the intention of the property. I don't know what the ramifications would be to see that that doesn't happen, because it would definitely devalue the rest of the homes that are in the area, because there's 3 homes back there now, and I'd say they're higher end homes. And also, it was mentioned by John to the neighbor that he had intentions of selling it to a trucking company at one time. So, I mean, it's just not practical to have trucks going back and forth to that property. I don't know what the intention is. So that would be concerns I have. What's the intention for the property? You know, is a nice home going there? Are they going to bring in a trailer to put it on a slab? I don't know. So all those are open concerns right now that I have.
Okay.
So that's what I've got.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else with something new to add?
Good evening, I'm Henny Wright. I live at 7274 West Black Road. I would petition that this would be set for a later date. My husband, Kevin Wright, wanted to be here badly, but he works for the railroad and there is just no way of getting off work at short notice, and this was very short notice for us.
He wasn't unable to join us via Zoom?
No,
or any other?
He runs an engine. He absolutely has no electronic
We also have
devices.
email, if he'd like to send an email with his remonstrance.
I understand.
Okay.
But we did not know what this variance was even about. Because from our understanding now, sitting here this evening, we would have questions of who actually owns the property anyway. So, and we have 3 very unique nice homes sitting on a couple of acres each, a very nice driveway that comes up. This would increase traffic and affect wildlife, affect the noise level in our area. It's why we bought our home there, is we wanted this small little, not even a subdivision, but friends next to us. And this would cut right down the middle of our driveway and run in between from what I understand, because we weren't sure there even was an easement, we bought our house in a foreclosure, so none of that was available to us. There was nothing available to us when we about an easement. This drive would run, apparently, if what they're talking about is between our log shed. We have a log home. All of these homes are log or log styled homes, and that's what we would want to absolutely go in and nothing else. To have that uniqueness in our subdivision, in our little neighborhood. And that road would run in between our log shed, which is not just like a shed, it's a building with windows and a metal roof, and our neighbor's beautiful port that he built for his trailer. It would be very close to both of them. I'd like to give you a letter of concerns that we have.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any further remonstrators for this petition? This is going to be our last one.
Good evening. My name's Kevin Thar. I'm with my wife Deb here. We live at 7268 West Bleck. So we're one of the 3 houses that are in that area. And our biggest concern is, number one, we didn't know that there was an easement that would cut through our properties and go back there. And number two, we have no idea what Mr. Hardiker wants to do with the property. You know, at one point he said, I'm going to sell it to a trucking company. Then he said he's going to sell it to a logging company who are going to come in and cut all the trees down. And, you know, the property, our property does not abut against John's, but our property is butts against the 40 acres of preserved wetlands that Miles was talking about earlier. So those are our concerns. We just don't know what he wants to do with it, and we're concerned about trucks going in and out or whatever it's going to be. So, and I'd also like to move that we postpone it until January so Kevin can be here, because that's where the main property, or if the easement goes through, it's going to go right through his property. So, thanks.
Thank you. All right, John, if you'd like to come back up.
First of all, I know how nice the homes are. I built 2 of them out of the 3 that are out there right now. And I have no intention of putting a trailer or any such thing. It's not going to be a development. It's going to be a one-home owner piece of property, and there's 5 acres there. When I essentially set it up and sold the property to the people behind me here, the easement was already in place. I explained that to them 5 years ago when I came to them and gave them an opportunity to buy the property from me if they didn't want anybody to build it.
That's what it sounds like to me. Maybe we need to give them an opportunity to buy again.
Well, they can talk to my realtor. I mean, you know.
The sign's up right here.
As far as falling the trees and doing damage to anybody's property, it's basically all scrub brush all the way out past the existing barbed wire fence that's out there where the property line is actually at. And as far as the animals go, I mean, I love animals, but it's got 94 on one side, and it's a pie-shaped piece of property. A 94 runs all the way down the side of it. I don't think it's going to impair, and it's fenced off to where the animals couldn't get out of there anyway. I mean, that's where they stop.
Go ahead. Attorney Beachy.
He's going to get legal.
You've been sitting here listening to this whole thing, Doug, and I wondered why you haven't spoken up. I've been on this board for a long time, and I've never had a variance like this before. I mean, we've never, without knowing who's going to use the property, own the property, for somebody to ask us to give carte blanche to
Yeah,
what you
normally
want to
it's
do.
the people that are purchasing and want to build that we would.
Well, there's also no road access, and
Right.
the easement goes to a subdivision. So, I guess I was just kind of waiting for a motion.
Yeah, I mean, you were going to
without having to come. Yeah, pretty much.
Because that's the problem here, John, is that these people have valid questions and valid points, and normally the way this would work is you would have a prospective buyer, they would want a petition to put a house on it, and then you would come here and we could explain to these people what was being built.
Well-
and we could make everybody, we could have,
Side's happy.
And we would see the recorded easement.
I mean, Doug, can we even say, you can do whatever you want, you can build a house in that property without, no.
I don't think so. I don't think he has sufficient evidence on which to make this. But what we do know is we have an easement. We can't see it. We don't know where it is, and we don't know who would be the serving tenant, meaning who it would affect.
Right.
And
existing.
wait, sir, I'm done. I'm not done tossing.
Sorry, I'm sorry, sir.
And as importantly, this board has typically denied petitions that flow into subdivisions, because that's the point of a subdivision. And so we're landlocked, we don't know what the easement is, and it's going to a subdivision. Just those three things the board's turned down for the, 18 years I've been sitting here.
Okay. The easement is existing right here. There's only 100 foot to go to get to the property line from where it is right now.
For the record.
There's just 100 foot forward to get to the property line.
And I hate to say this, but I'm not willing to just take your word on that 100 feet.
Oh.
I can't be sure. And since it is coming off of a subdivision, I really want to verify that easement. I'm definitely not prepared to make any kind of decision tonight until I see that information.
The one thing I would like to address is the reason that I'm trying to get the building permit before
That would
I
be
sell the
wonderful.
property is the idea that when people go out there, they've been harassed. They've been told that there is no easement. I actually have a lady that told me, and she'll sign an affidavit to it, that she was harassed and would be afraid to live out there with the neighbors that are out there right now.
Well, I think that's probably one of the reasons we need to get the easement situation cleared up.
I think it is too.
For you, for all the other owners out there.
It's fine.
So, having said that, I will entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'm glad to give you one. I think the petition number 5 for John and Christine Hardacre be postponed to the January meeting so they can produce who has the easement and the paperwork and get this set straight. I'm not sure if we.
Can I say something?
I know.
Not while we're in the middle of a motion.
No, that's all right. Honey, just
Yes,
I have a comment. Well, we're going to need more than just the legal on the easement. We need a drawing. I won't be able to determine where it is on the lot with just an easement with the legal written on it.
Should it be a survey drawing?
Well, at least an approximation. I don't think anybody's sure where it's going through.
That's probably, I should be amend that to have.
Actually, I would say it should be done by a professional, and if that's
I
the
may have a
case,
survey drawing.
I know where surveyors are right now. They probably won't get it done in 30 days.
Exactly
I
right.
don't think so.
So, January, postpone this to the February meeting then? That gives 60 days to get it done.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Is that a motion? I mean, I don't want to act on, I don't want to say anything. I mean.
That was the motion.
I mean, I personally don't think a postponement. I think we just need to deny this petition personally. And like I said, it needs to be done in a different way. Where the petitioner needs to come with the evidence, and the petitioner needs to be the person that is going to build on the
Bill,
property.
I understand that. So right now I have a motion on the floor from Dwayne.
I could withdraw it. I'll withdraw my motion. It makes it cleaner.
All right, so I'm still entertaining a motion.
And I'll make a motion that the petition be denied at this time.
I'll second that one then.
Okay, and just to clarify, he's denying the petition. He wants the person who purchases the property to come in front of the board. Right?
Might as well add the clarification with the drawing of the drawing.
We
of the
we don't need any conditions on the denial. It's denied.
Right.
He comes back, he's gonna have to do it right.
Finding
Okay.
facts.
Fair.
All right.
So
all
I
those-
cannot come back. The person that buys the property has to come back.
You can both come back
You both come back.
at the joint petition.
Right. Okay.
So I have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of denying signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay. Good luck.
Thanks for your time.
Can I just make a
No.
No.
I'm sorry. We're out of public comment was during remonstrating.
Petition number 6.
Petition number 6 this evening is a petition for variance of use for Travis Gilroy for operation of auto sales and accessories business and construction of a second accessory structure for business. The property is located at 5205 North State Road 39, LaPorte, Springfield Township, zoned R4 on 1.016 acres.
Notice is sufficient.
Okay, let's give these guys a moment. If you would state your name and address for the record.
My name is Travis Gilroy. I live at 5205 North State Road 39.
I know where this is at. Auto sales and accessories.
Yes, ma'am.
And construction of a second accessory structure for business.
Yes.
So where do we want to start? You're going to sell cars? You're going to fix cars?
I'm not fixing cars. I've done that long enough in my life. I'm tired of fixing them all the time. I'm not just selling regular cars. I want to open up a store that's classic, collectible, and custom cars only. As far as the store-wise, the accessories, that's man cave items, signs, gas pumps, slot machines, something that you would want to put in your home garage, basement, your basement bar, your man cave room, whatever. My wife brought it to me for the fact that she's always trying to find me something, and no offense to Hobby Lobby, she goes there, they
I
got
know,
the little
she
list
just-
rinky dinky.
She wants you to not have it in the house. Right?
Well, unfortunately, right now her basement's full of it.
I
so.
gotcha.
That's easy to figure out here, guy.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's what I'm asking to be able to do.
So the building where you're going to conduct business is for car sales of classic cars,
Classic cars and like I
slot
said,
machines,
yeah,
the
gas
things
pumps, yeah.
What
And
is
something different in the town.
So then you're asking for an additional structure.
Yes.
What is
yes.
that going to be used for?
That's going to be more for the classic cars. It's going to be primarily indoor car sales. I'm doing a 30 by 70. I should be able to fit about 8 cars amongst inventory and then have a few out front. I'm not planning on having a ton. I don't want a huge yard full.
You said how many inside?
6 to 8 cars inside is what I figure I'm going to be able to fit at the most.
I mean, these better be some pretty awesome classic cars that need to go inside, right?
Right. Well,
I know
that's
you
part of the point of me doing it at my residence. Unfortunately I can't afford the overhead to go spend $3,000 a month right now to rent something to do it. I can't do it. I need a start, and this is boiled down to this was kind of my only option. What I'm down to right now. So
So Travis, there's a bunch of cars there.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
20 plus cars.
Yeah. I will say there is still quite a few. The
What's the
newer
plan with
junk
those?
ones I got rid of. I used to work for Pat Kindig at Hemi Auto. He used my yard as a storage lot for quite a while. So I've been getting his stuff out of there. I haven't worked for him in a year, and I still have, I think, 3 left in there of his that I've got to get out.
How long do you think that's going to take?
To get his out?
Or how many do you think were there?
It's about 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are classic cars.
So you're going to work on them there at that location?
Well, half of them run and drive. They're just sitting there. They need to be washed and detailed, but a lot of those run and drive and are
How many of those run and drive?
the classic cars. Both Corvettes, the Crosley, 2 or 3 of the Imperials, both the Chrysler. I have two 68 Chryslers, a 300, and a New Yorker. Those
We're at
are
like maybe
they don't.
10.
Huh?
We're at maybe 10 so far. How
Yeah,
many of
10.
those would go on the inside structure? You know, for inside sales? Any of those?
About 5 of those, 6 of those at least are going to go inside. I can't put everything in there. I mean, I want
Where I'm
to,
going
like you
with
said,
this, though,
I
right?
want to keep the nicer stuff, yes. And my whole goal is the building's going to be basically across the front. I'm fencing from the building to the side property that hits the trailer park on each side. Everything that I'm selling will be in the front or inside the building. And I'm going to be giving my wife her yard back behind the building.
What size building are you thinking about building?
30 by 70 by 13.
Go on, do it one last time.
Big enough?
2,100 square feet. So,
That never gets old for you, does it?
Never gets old.
How long do you think it'll take for you to clean up? Let's say we approve your petition today. How long will it take to get the
the non-needed vehicles gone.
gone and the building constructed so that we can store some of them inside?
Okay, I am hoping March time for beginning of construction for the building. Unfortunately, it's got the concrete foundation. I can't do it in the snow.
Not a good time.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not. It would cost me way too much. I mean, it can be done, but the additives, it just kind of.
We get concrete till spring.
Yeah,
That goes down.
Yeah. So, as far as the other cars, in the last few days, I have gotten rid of 3 of them. I got rid of a tow truck that was out there. I got rid of a Honda that was on a trailer, and I got rid of a SUV. I've got 2 more that'll be out. I would love to say this coming week, but I will be in Texas. I'm leaving Sunday. I'll be gone for a little over a week, and then as soon as I get back, I'll be right back on getting them gone. I do have 2 of them listed online right now, trying to get rid of them.
Right.
So.
What kind of hours of operation are you looking at? Days of the week and hours?
I'm thinking Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday through Friday is going to be 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays will be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So, just primarily.
Anything outside that'd be appointment only?
Actually, I don't even want to do appointment only. I mean, I still got to have time for family.
Right.
I take care of my grandma. She's 87. I'm the only one she's got, her or me, my wife. So I do have to have time for that. So
What kind of sign are we talking about?
sign for outside.
Yeah.
For outside,
Front
yeah.
yard.
Honestly,
4x4, 4x8 with lights, without lights?
it's going to be without lights. I actually have what I'm using for a pole. I have the old Bolts Unlimited sign pole. So it's a massive, like an 11-foot long, big bolt that my sign's going to hang right underneath. That's kind of the stuff I kind of want to lean toward anyways. Like I said, the gas and oil signs, anything business related, that's old. And a lot of people they like that stuff. I know I love it.
Merchandising. So what size for your sign?
I'm going to say probably 4x6. And then, as seen on the property, I do have entry and exit. It's a U-shaped. Now I will be cutting it in front of the building, but there's a turn lane in the highway to come in. Wonderful access leaving on the north side driveway. Perfect view on each side. So I am going to have an exit and an entrance. It will be designated. It's a little over 1 car wide, so I can't have 2 people in and out on one side. I will have it designated one side or the other. So
And Travis, I just want to clarify, we are not going to be working on vehicles at this location?
No.
No mechanic,
no
wrenching,
mechanics in there. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Are there any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Anybody for or against? You can speak in favor. Okay. All right. Seeing no remonstrators, no further questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion.
Did we talk about a limit of number of automobiles?
Oh, we didn't.
Did not.
Could we limit the automobiles that are going to be?
Are you making a motion?
Outside or inside?
Can I talk? Oh, good question. Outside. If we want to talk about the number of automobiles outside of the building? Can we limit it to 6?
Can you give me 10?
8.
We'll meet in the middle.
I'm
I'd
sorry.
like to make
It's like
a
being at the
motion.
auction almost.
Is it 8?
I'd like to make a motion that the petition for variance of use for Travis D. Gilroy be granted for auto sales and accessory sales only, not of mechanics, of hours, days, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Saturday 9 to 3, a 4x6 non-lit sign, and all other autos to be gone within 90 days.
Sounds good to
I
me.
like 90, yeah.
She loves it.
Did I cover it all?
Were you gonna add a restriction on the number of vehicles to your motion?
Outside for
Outside.
8.
8 outside vehicles on the property.
And just to clarify, it's Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday 9 to 3?
Yes.
Do you agree with that? Okay.
Yes.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, where are we at? All right, petition number 7 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for James and Maria Hawkinson for construction of a garage without a residence and a side setback of 6 feet instead of the 10 minimum required. Property is located at 5756 East 800 North, Rolling Prairie, Galena Township, zoned R1B.
Notice is sufficient.
This has updated drawings. I was gonna pass them out, but you beat me to it.
Thank you.
Doug, I'm moving back. Mike.
Thank you.
You get one? Yeah,
No, yeah, right here.
I got one. You got one.
I got.
Edition, the second,
If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. I'm Timothy Bernesh, Tim. I am at 314 Illinois Street in Glen Ellen. My company is Bernesh 2 Architecture, and I am representing James and Maria Hawkinson.
All right, well, now that you gave us some new drawings, give us a second here and.
Sure.
Shoot.
If you like, I could explain the reason for the new drawings.
Yeah, if you'd like to start doing that while we look.
My client had given me a survey for lot number 3, which is circled on the first sheet that you have. And I did not, apparently he had given me the wrong survey. The property in which he's looking to do this work is actually lot 6, 3 lots to the west, that's circled and highlighted. So the earlier drawings were for lot 3, which is erroneous at this point.
Okay.
So these are to show the garage on lot 6. The second drawing is a site plan that shows the positioning of the requested garage. And again, the variance here is that your restrictions require a residence on the lot. We are looking to do a garage with no residence at this point. Primarily for the storage of a boat that he wishes to keep here. And then the third drawing is a conceptual idea of what the boathouse, or the garage would look like.
Tim, is there a plan to ever build a residence there?
We have done a study, and I did present that to the building department and to the health department. He would have liked to have done something like that, and the understanding is that there will be a sewer built along 800 North at one point in time. Obviously, I've done work in Long Beach, and we've been talking about a sewer along Lakeshore Drive since 2001, and we're still waiting for that. So the health department's response was, you can build a house if you want, but you either have to have a septic or it has to tie into a sewer when it eventually comes. So not knowing when that's going to happen, at this point, my client would like to strictly build the garage. One other thing I'd like to correct is on the variance information. I have listed their address as 5632 East Sauganato, and I apparently had the incorrect address. That should actually be 5643 East Saugana. They have a house opposite, so this lot is on the north side of Saugany Lake, and they do have a primary house on the south side of Saugana Lake.
So Attorney BG, will that address change make a difference for notification? Speak into the microphone, Ashley.
I got the adjoining landowners from the property that it's supposed to be from.
Okay, very good, thank you. Very good.
Oh, that's covered.
Are there any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Hearing and seeing none. Other questions for the board?
No. That's about the biggest size garage you could put there.
It's true.
Yes, so of course, one of the other variances is to go from a 10-foot side yard setback to 6. And I could have made the garage 24, which would have put it right at the 10, but knowing how humans work, I gave it another 8 inches to make it 23.4.
See that?
I mean, I don't like it. I understand it, but I don't like it.
Oh, no.
So I appreciate the extra 8 inches.
Sure.
This is purely an opinion, but looking at that, the way that lot's set up and looking at all the adjoining landowners, there's really not a whole lot left you can do with that little wedge of a lot.
No, there's not.
It's dead.
Septic comes.
Yeah,
Right.
well, especially when it comes to septic, right? So now we start talking about vault. Yeah.
No, I agree.
And you said that they do own a home on the other side of the lake.
Correct.
The old one. 3 years.
I see.
Don't worry about 6. That was an error.
If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Melissa, I'll provide a motion for the petition of variance of developmental standards for James and Maria Hawkinson be granted.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Bob is in the back saying, oh my gosh, this takes so long. Thank you for your patience. Petition for a variance of developmental standards for Joanne and Robert Geiger for construction of an accessory prior to the home and in front of the home to run a woodworking shop. Property is located at 202 North Forester Road, LaPorte, Cool Spring Township, zoned ag on 16.22 acres.
That was adequate.
Thank you. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Kiger, 754 South Forester Road. Can I approach?
Yes, please. And I'm having a rough night with this microphone.
No, it's beating you up.
Spitting in it.
I think we've all hit it a few times. Thank you.
Thank you. What is that? It's all right. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Give you a release.
That's right, it's your alley.
Hello. I like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Finally got one right.
Yeah.
All right.
Your last one, I don't.
Yeah.
Finally, a garage size. Dwayne's like, no, that's.
Well, that's a start.
Yeah.
So
You can work with this.
So we're not going to build a house yet.
correct.
We're just going to build a woodworking
Well,
shop.
Yeah, when we bought the property a year ago, there was an existing home on it, modular. We took that off
Right.
earlier this year. The foundation is still there, so we want to utilize that. It's a good foundation septic system and well. So this will be approximately real close to this is what will go into existing foundation. And then we own the shop, some acres down the road. I've been there since 1986. So if we sell that property, I'd like to build the 50 by 100 adjacent to this, and I think it is big enough for now. So anyways, we'll start with this. It'll be a conventional frame on the exterior and a timber frame on the interior. And then eventually, as you've seen from the drawing we drew, we'll build a house in the back, approximately 1,000 feet back. We've already got NIPSCO taken care of, and that's going to go in sometime this spring. So since we're building this accessory in front, this first, we need to get the variance for this.
You could run water, electric, all of it out to the 50 by 100 feet.
Probably not water, possibly maybe a garden hose or frost free of that, but there won't be any bathrooms in that. That's what this is going to be, a multi-use building.
Very good.
So since this has existing foundation and it has a plumbing for the basement, in the basement, excuse me, but it's got existing
On the
water
other
and septic,
side,
yes,
okay.
correct. So no, in the new building, the 50 by 100, we will not have, but we will have gas, electric, and fully insulated and finished off, correct.
You've done a lot of clearing out at this property.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's right down the street from my house, so I know.
So yeah, we're just about a quarter of the way as far as cleaning. We're cleaning it up has been
Well,
the biggest
compared to
thing.
what it looked like before,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, we will be building on the back, and Sweet Lake is back there, so
Yep.
we're going to take advantage of that view up on the hill. So, but there's still a few trees to come down yet, but we're utilizing them, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Are there any remonstrators tonight for this petition, either for or against?
She's not going to be for it, I guess.
And my wife doesn't get up there.
Yeah.
That last one too. Uh-huh. What other questions do we have as a board?
I'm good.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll give it to you then. The petition for the variance developmental standard for Joanne and Robert Kyer for construction of accessory building prior to the house being built and a woodworking shop property located at 202 North Forestry Road in the Cool Spring Township. Finding the right size, 50 by 100, be approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Good one for your last one. Thank you.
Good luck. All right. Do we have any old business in front of the board?
I don't have any old business. Do you, Doug? No. Do you, Ashley?
New business?
I do have new business.
Oh.
As you know, one of our own esteemed, longtime vice president of our board has announced his retirement. So I am sad to announce that we are losing a wealth of knowledge and experience and wisdom from this board. And I would like to express on behalf of all of us the joy that we experienced working alongside of you, hearing these cases. And we, while we're sad to see you go, we certainly support your decision and wish you the best on your future endeavors. And I would like to step forward, approach, and present a little something from all of us to commemorate your retirement.
Almost 20 years, right?
Yeah, almost 20 years. Thank you.
Like a little kid.
Look at yeah. Beautiful that.
This, there was a lot to choose from. I had liked the blue one, but Ashley said we should go with the red because Dwayne was a firefighter.
Yeah.
And you know what? She was right. It turned out great. So, please accept this from all of us on behalf of your 18 years of service to this board.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. It's meant a lot. It's been hard. It's been a long time coming for a day like this. I said, but you know, you never say never because you never know if you might come back. The way politics does change. But you know, you gotta take care of your health first, because once you get that, it's gone, you're in trouble, so. But the wisdom in that from this board, all the things from Doug, you personally helping, and the board, the education, the training, everything you've given us, hope it filters on down, stays with the board. I feel this board's still gonna be in really good shape here with what we have with this, the way this continuity of this board's gonna work. So,
As the newbie on this board, it's been really a pleasure watching and seeing how you all work together as a team. So it's very, considering where everything is at right now in our county, it's very refreshing, and thank you for everything that you've done. It's made me feel comfortable and welcomed, so thank you to all of you, especially you.
thank you very much.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Have a good night.